most real estate agents don't have a time problem. They have a delegation problem. So today we're breaking down exactly what top teams outsource, how they do it without losing control, and why cheap help is actually the most expensive mistake in real estate. So when I got started in real estate, one of the things that I did extremely well is I started delegating right off from the beginning and delegating everything that was a lower hour per hour activity. What that did is it actually helped me increase my income. And over time, I kept delegating and delegating and delegating even more until obviously I built the business that we run now. So today we have Elevate Remote Services, which is a company that actually helps real estate agents and brokerages delegate a lot of the administrative tasks. Welcome to the podcast. How are you guys doing today?
Thank you. Hey, thanks for having us.
I love it. So let's jump right in. So what are the most common tasks that you guys complete that either individuals or teams need to be delegating?
Yeah, maybe I'll start, Vishnu, and then if you want to go into any more detail after I run through. But as an overarching theme, we see so many teams struggling, with administrative people in the office doing so many repetitive tasks, the same uploading photos to the MLS, the same checking for initials, the same auditing, agent phone calls and seeing how many calls they've made to tell their team leader and the sales leader what the agents are actually doing. We see people spending their time completing these tasks over and over and over every day, as opposed to the higher level tasks, right? Talking to your clients, building client relationships, actually building relationships with your sales agents and being that person that they're meant to be, right? So a huge part of what we went in to set up was a place for agents to delegate listing and transaction work, right? The actual, again, uploading photos, maybe putting a description at this point through ChatGPT, right? And helping you create that and craft it and specify it to get it ready for the MLS, to get all your photos uploaded, to set up Zillow Showcase if you're using it, there's just endless tasks that a listing coordinator is doing. And once an agent actually sits down and looks at that task, half of it guaranteed can be delegated to a virtual assistant. That listing coordinator is elevated to handle more listings, to help generate more business, to again build those better client relationships. Same with transaction management, with scheduling inspections, with scheduling CL 100s, with ensuring you have all your documents in the right place, uploading them for submission to your brokerage. Again, list goes on, you check a checklist. Man, half this stuff could be delegated. We do a lot of tracking, reporting, right? How many phone calls are agents making? How long are those phone calls? And bringing that data that CRMs and a lot of those platforms out there now provide. But what we are really help our agents do is put it all in one place, right? We put together one, for example, agent weekly scorecard, where a sales leader can look, what did Rebecca do this week? Here's a breakdown of exactly what she did this week in her CRM, for her transactions, for her property searches. Is she using the technology that you're paying for? Is X, Y, and Z happening for every single agent? You can look at this report and we'll tell you, because we're generating it from all of those different platforms every single week to make it easy for you to see. And just everything else, we can help generate CMAs. Right? We can help set up just endless the mundane things that happen over and over again. Vishnu, can you think of anything I haven't mentioned?
I think another biggest piece is maintaining the CRM, because that's the very difficult one, maintaining it with tags and then, creating the list. For example, now we are nearing Christmas, right? So people really want to do create a list of, raving fans, their past clients and etc., and send them invite and mailers. And they need to, categorize people who are really interested to receive the mails, emails and stuff. So that categorizing stuff and maintaining the CRM is also something we help people with.
Got it. Now, I'm pretty confident I know the answer to this already, but what's different about your guys' company versus me just going on a virtual assistant website and hiring a regular virtual assistant? I'm pretty confident I know the answer to it. I just want to get your guys' point of view on this.
Yeah. Raul, do you maybe want to jump on that one?
Sure. The main difference here is we are the only managed VA company. So Here we call ourselves as zero downtime. So that's called once you train us, and we will take up the task from there, and we'll create documentation and have that recorded for ourselves. So in case a VA is turnover, or they're not available, or they are on a sick leave, you will not know that someone is off on your office. So we have a backup, so the backup will come into action and execute all of your tasks. So it's a seamless procedure here that we have. So you will not see any downtime at all. So that something is the main piece, and that is our unique selling point so far all these 10 years. So the teams there in the US, they never know that we are off, right? We will also keep informed about the annual holidays that we have. We always have an 8 annual holidays that will inform the teams prior, so they know that we are off on that day. So that's our unique selling point.
And to
Essentially, you're not just hiring one VA, right? You're hiring a team, right? That's assigned to your team, where you'll never know that if that person's sick, your tasks are still going to be done, right? If that person's out of office getting married, your tasks are still going to be done, and you can just rely on that consistent work being completed.
Yeah. The other thing that it makes me think of as well too is because you guys work with so many agents, it actually allows you guys to see what other agents are doing, what other agents are working, and actually provide better reporting, better like one of the metrics that we track is talk time as well too. So be able to provide better metrics for people, I think is good. Now, when people think about delegating, I think one of the reasons people fail to delegate is they think that it's expensive to delegate things, but it's actually more expensive not to delegate things. Like, meaning, like in economics, I learned about something called opportunity cost, which means if you want to earn $100 an hour, you got to delegate everything else that is less than $100 an hour. Otherwise, like, you'll never be able to get to 100 or 200 or 500 or $1,000 an hour. So how expensive is this, and how does it work from a financial perspective for agents? Maybe if agents are thinking like, hey, look, this is going to cost me an arm and a leg, or I'm better off doing myself. How does that aspect of it work?
Yeah, and I'll jump on that real quick. A huge part that I always learned in starting in the business is like delegating yourself out of a job, right? Like since I started in the industry, I delegated myself out of a job probably 5 or 6 times over, right? Just you train the next person. That's the only way you elevate. That's the way you elevate within your business, within your company, within the same group of people. You're bringing people on, you are training them on how to do it. Vishnu and Raul and I have been working together for 10 years, where we have had literally, we've all delegated out of a job, right? And that's how you grow. So that's exactly our intention of bringing that to team members, around the U.S. So we make it affordable based on what people need, right? Some people are like large teams that we work with. They need a solid 40-hour a week person, right? They're handling a lot of listings. They're handling a lot of transactions. They have 30 something agents that they're trying to, they need our help to just manage and keep on top of. So they need 40 hours a week, right? And we have that option. We have the option for people who just need 20 hours a week, right? They don't need full time. We even have a smaller option than that, right? You might need like what we call micro time, which is 40 hours a month, right? So like 10 hours a week, that's kind of spread out. We also understand that it's not always going to be consistent, right? Like you might be busier at the beginning of the month versus the end of the month and that sort of thing. So, our plans range in amount per hour, kind of in that 8 to 12, 13-ish an hour range based on how many hours you need, right? We're assigning, again, a team and delegating people to your team and to learn everything about your team. So we've been working on that, right, for the last 10 years that we've been working with clients and balancing how we can best not force people into more hours than they need, while still ensuring that we have the team prepared to work their business. So with those plans I mentioned, the full-time, part-time, and then more micro time, we allow you to go over that time and essentially pay per hour, right? So if you signed up for part-time, for example, but needed an extra 5 hours, right, on top of that month, or an extra 20 hours on top of that month when you were really busy, you're essentially paying per hour for any hours you use over that amount. Just so we're not going to force you if you go over part-time into full-time, for example. We'll just we'll work with you on what the amount of time you actually need that month.
How do you guys actually track how many hours somebody's using?
Ooh, good question. Vishnu, you want to take that one?
Okay, so it is based on, we have a tracker wherein we always give a time slab, right? So we know that for this particular task, like it might take so and so time. So we take an average, we do the task for first 10 times, and then we take an average and we give it as time slab. For example, let's say that, a task like adding photos to MLS, it might not take more than like 2 to 3 minutes. So when we have an entry of, like MLS photo adding, it will automatically say that it is 3 minutes. So that's how we track the timings. So we have slab for each
It's
and every
literally per
task
task
that,
per minute.
yes.
How does the zero downtime work? Like I read that about your company. What does that mean, and what's the benefit of having zero downtime versus versus the opposite?
So what we refer as like zero downtime is, we really do not, like say the clients, hey, today the VA is off. So we are not going to complete all these tasks for you. Right? So hiring, like the difference between hiring a VA versus a VA managed company like ours is when a VA is off, all the tasks are, like it's just like not done and it's like transferred to someone else. Someone has to carry that tomorrow. Or, like someone has to take the burden of like doing it that particular day. But with us, irrespective of that VA is present that particular day or not, we have an entire team. Like for example, like you're not just hiring a VA, you are hiring, like a team lead, a quality analyst, a VA, and a supporting staff. Right? So when someone is not in, there are three other persons who are going to cover for you for that particular day, and then your work is why we call it as like zero downtime.
And you hear like full understanding. People are nervous about hiring a VA because a lot of people have had just a negative experience when they hire somebody, an individual VA for a cheaper amount, and they all of a sudden don't hear from them for a week because they're sick, right? Or hey, I'm going on vacation, so they're gone for a week and a half, and then they come back and you kind of have to relearn everything. And like when there's one person, as soon as that person leaves or you decide that person doesn't work out, if you let them go, you're back at square one, having to hire, having to train, having to do all this stuff all over again. So the intention of, again, a company, right? You think of a real estate team like versus an individual agent, like you're hiring a team, you're hiring a company that's going to understand and keep management of or keep track of all of your training, all of the videos we have of how to do each and every task associated with your company. And if that VA leaves, right? If someone has a baby and is not working anymore, right? You're not back at square one having to retrain somebody. You're not having to you train us once. We say that all the time. You train us one time. We'll ask you to record videos of like you or your admin or whoever doing the task one time. We then take that video. You don't have to, unless there's a change, right, to how you want to do the process, you don't have to think about it again, right? We will make sure that if your VA is sick, the task still gets done. It does not come back to you. And if your VA ever leaves for whatever reason, that you don't have to retrain anybody, you don't have to rehire, you don't have to do anything. You've just hired our company and you're done.
Which is a very common problem. And not only that, but even hiring is a skill. Like, so there's so many things that come along with, like, I remember my first hire, like, there's so many lessons that I've learned along the way, and there's so many red flags that I've learned that once it starts happening, like I had one employee one time, like within the first month, call in sick like 4 or 5 different times at different times. I'm like, as soon as I see that, I'm like, okay, red flag already, because I experienced it the first time already. So I think there's also a benefit of using a company as well too, because at the beginning, when you don't have that hiring skill or vetting, or if somebody leaves, you have to retrain them. It adds stability basically to your systems and processes.
Yes.
Not only that, but in California, the minimum wage just went up to $17 an hour. My philosophy is that at least in California and other parts of the country, the minimum wage is going to continue to go up. So sometimes by outsourcing it to companies outside of the US, it limits the risk. So meaning like if California wages go up to $25 an hour and I can delegate some of the stuff for $10, $12, $13 an hour, $8 an hour, it makes it so that I'm still getting the task done and I actually have a little bit of a competitive advantage versus competitors because I can take that extra spend that I would normally spend on admin help and use it towards marketing or something that's going to produce more income as well too.
And a few things to add on that. You're not locked into a contract with us. So we have people who we've worked with for years who have said, hey, I'm really busy right now. I need 40 hours a week. And then we've had a team, something happened and they lost kind of a mass exodus of agents and they dropped down to part-time, right? Fine. Right. They just tell us, we drop them down to part-time. We do fewer hours for them. And then they built their team back. They brought us back on full-time. So you're not in a contract as opposed to hiring a full-time employee where you can't tell your full-time employee who just started yesterday, hey, I actually need you part-time. I'm only going to pay you part-time. Right. Like with us, you can do that. And I want to note too, it's, I don't want people to feel bad and think like, oh, I'm hiring like cheap work. Like it's just the difference in location, right? Like the difference of where that money goes in, Southern India, where our company is located is just so different. Like, our team members are paid very well, like very competitively, very fairly, right? So I don't want people to feel like they're taking advantage. Like we pay our people very well. Everyone's very happy. We have photos. Everyone gets together for holidays and for events and for dinners, and it's a very kind of tight knit crew. Raul has a full office over there where the team actually comes in and works a day shift and a night shift together, right? So the day shift's very close, the night shift's very close. Everyone gets together for different events sometimes, and it's a team genuinely that you're hiring of people that have worked together for years now and respect each other and love what they do. So
yeah. Not only that, I remember the first VA that I hired, he has told me that he's bought land. He's actually like a real estate landowner out in his country because of the amount that he's made over the years of working. So you're making like a positive impact in these people's lives where they're doing a lot better than they would working for their country's wages as well too. And not only that, but you're actually getting probably the most skilled labor in that particular country. Meaning like I've had people that are like attorneys in their country, like very high level individuals. So let me ask you this. What do you guys typically look for whenever you hire people? And then I forgot to mention this. The cool thing about it too is that if somebody's not working out, it's not you as the individual owner or me that has to let go of that person. You guys are able to pick up on that and be like, hey, look, this person's not working out. They're not doing it. You guys replace them. And on my end, I probably don't even know very much because the task is getting done regardless, basically. So that's part of the administrative task that at maybe as a business owner, it leads to one less thing that I have to worry about, basically.
Yeah. Raul, you want to touch
So
on
what do you
that?
guys look
The
for when you
hiring
hire?
and replacement?
Yeah.
Yes. So we always look for people who have an experience in working with US clients, and they should they should have completed at least their bachelor's degree. So that's a minimum requirement that we have, and we also run disc assessment with them and make sure that they match to our value systems that we are providing to our clients. And then we put them on a training for a month and two. And we always follow the US process, like, 30, 60, and 90. So only when we are confident that the VA is super good and good to take up the task, then we move them to the client real task. So until that, they'll be on the training, they'll be on the monitoring. Despite of moving them to the live task, there is a quality analyst who look into the task and make sure that the tasks are done correctly. And on top of it, there is a team lead who also makes sure that all the tasks are done in the way that actually need to be done. So we have multiple level of checkpoints before the task is being delivered to the client. So starting from the training, hiring, and then the training, and make them that they are exactly to our standards what we require for, we do a complete hand holding until that part. And even after that, there is a percentage of quality auditing that we do every day of the work. So everything is monitored.
Yeah.
And we mentioned they're in the office, right? A big part of people, I think, often being hesitant to hire a VA is someone, they don't know where they're living. They don't know how connective and reliable their internet is, right? You're not really sure what's going on. A lot of multi-generational living in India. You don't really know what's going on in the background. There's a lot of, I think people are sometimes hesitant about that. our team works in the office. It's pretty rare that someone works from home. We do allow it every once in a while just based on needs, but it's people are in the office, right? They're holding each other accountable. There's that, focus of trying to solve problems together and being with their team lead and having that reliable internet connection as well.
So let me ask you this: why India versus like other countries? Like meaning like what because I would imagine, like, let's say I own a company that I help real estate agents. My talent pool would be a lot larger if I expanded to different countries potentially. I'm
Yeah.
imagining part of it is too, like, they come into the office as well too. But why India?
All right, that's a great question. Yeah, the first thing is the stability and also the education that we have in India. We have a very good education system in India, so that teaches the value system and also the skills that is necessary for the world market. So next is stability. Take me as an example. I worked for one company for 11 years, and then I started this company, and it is already like 8 years. So I know Vishnu. When I hired Vishnu, she was like, uh, she was like starting her career, and she's with us now for 8 years. So that's a great example that we have. Like starting from the owner and until to the next level manager, we have a great stability within us. And if you call us the retention rate within our company, the least is 3 years and the highest is like 9 years.
Amazing. What does the onboarding process look like? Like, let's say I hire you guys. What does that look like?
So the onboarding process is very simple, Joes, because like what we do is we set up a call, and then we understanding like what are your requirements, right? And then we just prioritize, like what you immediately wanted to delegate. So there are two type of clients. One is they all completely dialed in. They know what they really need to do, like delegate. And the second type of clients are, like they really do not know what they need to delegate, right? The first set, what we do is we ask them, what is the first thing that you wanted to, like take off your plate, right? So we ask them, like more details about that. And then we have a tool called as, like screen poll. And we share that with them so that, they can record the videos, I mean, their screens whenever they are doing the task, and then send that over to us. And we review that. And again, we go on a call in a couple of days, and then we ask for our clarification, and we are all set, right? And then we ask, like few things, like we might need the email addresses to work from their domain, and then passwords and credentials for their like platforms and stuff. So that's what like we do with the first set of like people. Wherein the second set, wherein they really not dialed in, what we do is we ask them to like tell them their pain points, right? Okay, so where do you feel that you are overwhelmed, where do you feel that you're struggling with, or where do you think that you need extra help with? So we ask them to like think about it and ask them to talk about that. And then we start like telling them or guiding them, okay, these are the things, something like we are already aware of, so you can like just right away delegate it to us. And then slowly, one by one, we take the process, and then we start like working on it. So our onboarding process is pretty simple. Go set the expectation, understand what is their priority, and get all the credentials and start working on it. Meet with them every week, report to them, like what's working, what's not working, or what else we might need from them. And it goes on for a month, or like 1.5 like months, based on like how much they are dialed in. And then everything goes via email. So the clients, like we really do not meet with them every week, maybe possibly like once in a month, or like whenever they need to talk to us. So they pretty much forget about everything, because they know that like background ERS is there, and they work for them.
Got it. What about for the agent that doesn't have any systems at all? Like, how you said there's two types of agents. There's the agents that, like us, that we already have our systems or processes. What about for the agent that has all their systems in their head, but they need administrative help? How do you help those agents?
So like we understand what is there, what is not there. For example, as you said, they have everything in their place, but at least they will have their own CRM, right? Maybe, like they will have their CRM, at least they will have their dialer, and they will have, like the paperwork and stuff. What we do is we check with them, okay, so what are the things that they are doing and what they need help with, and then we create the system and processes for them, and we start, like working with them. So that's how we do. We say, for example, let's say that, like you have your follow-up boss or CRM, right? But then you do not know like how to make use of it like effectively or efficiently. What we say, okay, these are the things that we can do for you, right? So give it to us, we'll set that up for you, and then we will start doing things like campaigns and like texting pieces and stuff. So we understand, and we try to explain what we could do and how we can utilize that. And once they approve, okay, this is something we really need, and we like implement that for them.
Got it.
Yeah, we definitely run the gamut of, how organized, right? We have the agent who sells 1 million homes a year, somehow with absolutely zero systems in place. And Vishnu at this point has seen it all, right? And her team. And I highlight Vishnu just especially even more than me. Just she knows how to work pretty much every CRM out there, right? Every single platform out there. She just like has some knowledge based on how many clients we've worked with over the years. So we're able to provide, certainly not a full like tech onboarding by any means, but we're able to provide a lot of insight into like what we've seen other teams do, what we've seen work, how we've seen this set up, and give some of that guidance as someone's trying to get started.
Yeah. So it's almost like a consultant as well, too, just based on we use a company for our bookkeeping and they specialize in real estate. And the benefit of using them is that they're able to tell us like the metrics, like, hey, look, 10% should be going to marketing, 10% should be going to this, 10% should be going that, or look, your office leases are higher than the normal, basically, so they're able to look at that by looking at other agents.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you guys ever help in sales and marketing? Like, meaning like if I was a team leader and I needed help bringing on other agents, basically, do you guys ever help in the recruiting of other salespeople? And then do you guys ever help in like marketing as well too? Like meaning like SEO, PPC, or anything related to like even creating systems around your database as well too?
Yeah, so a huge part, and we've been involved in a lot more recruiting lately in terms of finding people to call, right? We're not going to be the ones to call them, but we can generate that list for you, right? If you have access to broker metrics, if you have access to anything similar to that, if you have access to your new licensee list in your area, right? We'll pull that data, we'll find their phone number, we'll get it in your CRM for you to call, right? We'll track down the people and help break down. We'll look through the MLS, right? We have a team we do a project for where literally we look through like every week or month, right? Look at the most recent license numbers to see who got their license in the last month and find their phone number for them to call and ask them if they're looking to join a team, right? So we're big on generating the data. We're big on creating some of the pieces, right? We're not a full-blown marketing team. We honestly have had that in the past. And we kind of brought things a little bit more in-house to where we're really comfortable running it again in our office where we have that full accountability. We know exactly what's going on at all times. So we can do it to a limited extent, right? Anything that we're probably not making the entire graphic for you, but we're pulling the data in and putting it all in a template for your social media posts, right? We're keeping track of the properties that you've sold. We're creating it based on the template that you've given us, and we are presenting it to you every month or posting it every week, right? We're taking the basic info you're looking for. We're using some technology that we take advantage of now, right? And setting up or creating a blog post potentially and getting it over to you for approval. We're able to help with some of that stuff that you're able to guide us on. Again, like the onboarding is, hey, here's this screen grab video, right? Where we literally just ask you to record what you do. If you have a marketing person who's doing this repetitively every week, record it, get it to us, we'll do it, right? Like plug and play, right? We're not the ones that are creating the, again, English-based language verbiage and creating the full marketing platform, but any of those repetitive marketing tasks in the same way that you delegate anything else, you can delegate those to us.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you guys share maybe a couple of success stories of like maybe some notable achievements that maybe some of your clients have had, like maybe like agent Sally came to us, with zero system, whatever it may be. Just a couple like success stories to be able to maybe paint a picture for anybody watching this.
Yeah, we initially started with a lot of our reporting and tracking with DFT, Dave Friedman team out of Charleston, where we were creating this entire reporting progress of like how many phone calls are made out of this call list every week, how many people are hitting their number of calls, how many people are actually adding their time frame and motivation to their clients when they're in their system, and so on and so on and so on. That team has, since we started with them, tripled in size, hitting 500 transactions this year. I'm thinking of like Carrie's team, Vishnu, that we've worked with on a lot of their delegation as well as reporting for their team as well. They've seen pretty big numbers this last year. I'm thinking of HPRA out of Charlotte that we've been working with for probably our second longest tenured client up there. And we've worked in pretty much every facet of their business, right? Operations, we've helped them in some of their marketing, we've helped them in some of their recruiting, we've helped them kind of all over the place. And they're also, we've been with a lot of these people, interestingly, through COVID, right? Like through when a lot of these people we started with, like, late 18, 19 into 2020 and 2021 when everything went crazy, right? And we've stuck with them and kind of seen them, push their way through that and then get back to normal, right? And build back up from there. So that's been just a huge success and a huge, I think, testament to the value that we've provided, right, over the years, that we've had a lot of these clients through a huge, the biggest change in our market in the last 10 years that have stuck with us and kept us around. And again, if they needed to, based on just budgets, they've cut down a little bit in hours, and then they've bumped right back up to get us back into all of their tasks. So that's been a huge win for us.
I love it. Good. Okay. Anything else that we might have missed or that you guys think would be helpful to maybe somebody either looking for their first administrative help or looking to have assistance for their assistants, which is what we have. Our assistants have their assistants that help them out. Anything else that we might have missed that you guys think would be helpful?
I would just add that the team members that we have on our team, Raul mentioned how we hire, right? And the education system in India. I think the team that we have is very, very good, right, at understanding the tasks, understanding how to make them better, right? Giving that feedback where we see it, where we see something necessary that could be better, at building relationships with the clients that we're working with. And again, assistant to the assistant, like we know these people really well. One of our clients, their operations manager literally just visited the office, right? She's a travel bug. She went to India. She visited the office. They showed her all around Coimbatore. Like, we build those relationships with the people that we've been working with now for years. And that's our goal, right? Is to be the go-to and like their immediate thought when there's like, oh, it'd be really cool to have a list of new licensees that we could add that to our recruiting database and our recruiter could be calling those people. It'd be really nice, to have someone send us expireds every morning so that we can get our mailer out to them and just like, but gosh, like who's going to do that? That's so much time, right? Our goal is to be like the person that they think of every single time to get that task to us. And you'd be surprised how often now, like all of these clients that we've been working with for years just think of us all the time and send completely random projects and tasks and one-time, projects for us to work on. And that's our goal, right? Is to be the first thing that they think of when they have something that would really help their business and they're stuck or just not doing it because, gosh, that sounds expensive. That sounds time consuming. That sounds like something my assistant doesn't have time for, right? We're stuck because I'd love to be doing all this stuff, but we just don't have enough. Everyone's busy. Everyone's at max capacity. Everyone's, no way we can take that on. That's where we come in and, we try to be flexible for the hours that you need when you need them. So that's what we've built. And, we're excited to continue to grow with more clients that are looking to do the same thing, coming into 2026. And we're excited.
Amazing. I love it. Good. And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you guys, what would be the best way for them to do that?
They can reach out to our email and also to our website. Website is elevatorremoteservices.com. And for the email, it is contact@elevatedremoteservices.com. So that's the best thing. And we have a phone number in our website, so they can text us and they can call us whenever they have need.
Got it. And then just for our clients, I know you guys have a specialty in real estate. I know that you guys mentioned that there has been times where you guys have been able to help other real estate related fields or even other industries. So if you guys have questions to if they can be the right fit for you, go on their website, Elevated Remote Services, correct?
That's right.
And I appreciate you guys. So if you've enjoyed this, so I just want to say thank you from the bottom of our heart, obviously, for taking the time to come on the show. We hope that this episode would be helpful to somebody looking to grow their business, looking to maybe have a little bit more balance or increase their hourly rate. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you feel this episode will be helpful, make sure to hit that share button. Once again, we had Elevated Remote Services. They are a real estate team that helps delegate a lot of administrative tasks. So thank you guys again, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.